Hi again, everybody. This is Charming Sketches, and today I'm going to be talking about some of the old, I guess some people call them floppy versions of comics, well, floppy versions of manga. Basically, Viz and Makes, the company that eventually became Tokyo Pop, and also Dark Horse, and also a few publishers that don't really exist anymore as far as I know, like Iron Cat. They decided that they were going to start, bringing manga to America, and, they were like, well, we can suit this more to American taste, and also maybe even bring the price down, which, the prices were crazy for manga back then. Just as an example, here's an old volume of Ranma 1/2 from Viz. And also what's interesting about this is that the word manga wasn't really part of, I guess, the marketing vocabulary of Viz at the time. So they would just say, graphic novel, Viz graphic novel, or like, this is a graphic novel from Japan. Because, this was a time where it was kind of interesting being an anime fan back in the 90s growing up, because, you would just want what you could get. If it was anime or manga, you would want whatever you could get. Anything that was on TV, even if it wasn't that good, you would still watch it because you were interested in this thing. Yeah, so as you can see with this Run 1/2 volume, it's saying that it was $15.95 in US dollars and $23.95 in Canadian dollars. And I don't know about you, but that's really ridiculous, especially considering, like, in the 90s and, early 80s, well, not early 80s, but late 80s. That's crazy, considering. So, I guess to bring the cost down and also to try to appeal to, American comic book fans that perhaps, weren't ready to just go full in and buy something like this or something like this, and add it to their collection because, that would stand out on their comic book shelf where, all the spines would just look like this. And so, to appeal to comic book fans, they would split up chapters. Sometimes they would split up chapters of chapters if there were too many pages in the chapter of the original manga. And they would come out with these floppy comics that would come out every month, and it would be, half a chapter a month or one chapter a month and everything. And, back then, I wasn't really a fan of these. I preferred to just get the volumes, but, I did have a few that I don't own anymore. I'm not actually sure what happened to them. I didn't sell them or anything, but I used to have all of the original Pokemon Adventure floppy comics. I had a few of the Ranma ones only because I was just crazy for Ranma since that was my first manga, and I didn't even know it was manga at the time. I just knew that it was awesome and that I loved the art style. Yeah, I mean, literally anything I could find that looked like that thing, like Ranma, sort of. Like, I knew there was something different. And obviously all three of these, actually 4 of these titles you can see here, they all have different art styles, but as a kid I just knew there was something connecting them that, and then I started to notice, oh, all the authors are Japanese, so yeah, it kind of introduced this to me and to a lot of people in the 90s. So let's go ahead and look at some of these that I've got in my collection. So this is Nausicaa, The Valley of the Wind. This looks like part 2 of volume 3. I have not read these because I have not read the Nausicaa manga, but these were super cheap at a convention, so my husband and I decided to pick them up. I really love this illustration so much. It's so beautiful. And honestly, this format, this big format, it looks really good. And it's got like little details, like a helmet here, and then there's a helmet here, but like, look at that detail. It's so beautiful. It's awesome. And another thing that I liked about these is that they're glued spines, so they're not just stapled, which I'm not really a fan of. But yeah, like I was saying, this larger format is actually really, and the paper is not, it's not super thin either, like you can't see through it like a lot of these other ones you could probably see through. So, Gunsmith Cats, this is Kidnapped, so this is like, you know, 10 of these. You would have to get all 10 of these to complete the Kidnapped storyline. So I'm assuming, I think these are all chapters of the story. And this is 3 of 10, 2 of 7. This is Goldie versus Misty, and this is the only one of this I could find. But these were the only Gunsmith Cats ones that I could find, and I kind of like Gunsmith Cats. I really enjoyed the OVA of Gunsmith Cats, and I kind of wish there was more anime of it. It was really good. And I'm also kind of interested in one day cosplaying Riley Vincent. That would be awesome. She's a really cool character. And here's a look inside these. So, yep, basic stuff. Next thing, 1 Pound Gospel by Rumiko Takahashi. I've never read this series, but I'm kind of interested in it because I'm Catholic and there's a nun in it, and also it's Rumiko Takahashi, so I was like, this is a win-win. And basically this is exactly how the Ranma floppy comics looked like. Like literally exactly, like the paper is a little bit, it's a little bit, brown, more brown than the Nausicaa volumes that were released. And the paper's a bit thinner, but, yeah, I was just excited to find these because they were super cheap. I'm pretty sure it was like 2 for $1 or something, or 4 for $1 or something crazy like that. And then this is another thing I've not actually read yet, but I don't know, I'm a bit confused about how these are numbered, and also they, if you notice, they kind of don't look as professional to me as the Dark Horse floppies and the publications that Viz put out at this time. The art looks really cool to me, but in terms of like the cover design, it just doesn't match up to something like this. And maybe that's just because I've got, you know, the eye of a graphic designer, but I can see all that pixelation in the logo. It's just very unfortunate that they didn't make the name of the author bold, because it kind of blends in with the background here. And then there's all these like ads on the back for other things that they put out that I've never heard of. But yeah, if you've heard of any of these series and you know that they're good, definitely tell me your opinions on them. And yeah, this one, you can definitely tell the printing is definitely not, it's not as, like, the ink is not as black, it's definitely gray. So it's kind of interesting, but also it looks kind of cheap. And also, if you look here in this character's hair, Actually, I don't know if it's really picking it up, but in this character's hair right here, the screen tones, they're having this effect, which comes from like basically printing them wrong. It's like a weird wavy effect. That's not how it's supposed to look. I'm assuming that's not how it's supposed to look. But yeah, this one is darker print, so that's pretty cool. So this is Gun Crisis, by the way, if I didn't say the title. But yeah, so I only have the first 3 chapters of it, but I'll definitely read them and check them out sometime. I've actually been thinking about doing maybe some, like, I don't know, read through or vlogs or whatever. I don't know if anybody would really be interested in that. I definitely want to make some vlogs, like, about my artwork and about, you know, like, working on stuff and everything like that, but I need a better camera, that's for sure. Sorry about the quality of these videos. I'm trying my best. Like I said before, it really means a lot to me that so many of you have subscribed to my channel and so many of you leave comments and stuff. It's really awesome, and it really encourages me to continue making videos. And yeah, I really like seeing your comments and responding to your comments. I will almost always respond to comments. So if you have any of these Floppy comics, feel free to comment below and tell me which ones you have. But anyway, here's the last one that I've got in my collection, and this is The Laughing Target by Rumiko Takahashi, and as you can see, it's Chapter 2 of Rumik World. Rumik World is a collection of short story manga by Rumiko Takahashi. Basically, this is Chapter 2, so it's a complete story as far as I know. It's a complete story in here, and it's also another Viz Select. It's not stapled, it's glued. It's got this cool background here, and yeah. And the printing looks really good. Thanks again for watching this video, everybody. Bye.